they would plot themselves. I say, okay, Afia, I'd like you to plot yourself at +2 in the X direction and +3 in the Y direction.
Oh, okay.
And then she would, I'd have a stopwatch, and she would run to the place on the floor, because the floor actually looked like a grid or a graphical surface. So we had our 0, and then she would run to that space, and then I'd ask the next student to plot themselves at -4, +3, and then they'd run, and whoever got there first, they won the math game.
Okay.
So they're, performing geometry and playing a game at the same time. Yeah.
Now, you also have some other things in your store besides books. You have jewelry, you have crafts,
Yes,
you
yes.
have paintings. Tell us a little bit about that, and who brings them in, who makes them, who's all behind that?
Oh, okay. Well, our mission, okay, is to support other Black-owned businesses. So, starting with the Bath and Body products, which are all natural. I would say 98% of them are from Black-owned companies. And of course, being natural, that makes them good for you as well. And already spoke about HBCU accessories. Is definitely produced by a Black-owned business. We have body oils, perfumed oils, which are very popular. Oh my goodness, that's one of the items in the inventory that surprised me the most.
Oh, really?
When I introduced it. People started asking about it, and I was just like, okay, I guess I'll carry it. And oh my goodness, I've learned as an entrepreneur to meet people where they are. While yes, it's a bookstore, everybody is not necessarily reading, with the intensity to keep the doors open. So you need other items to supplement your inventory, and one of those are the perfumed oils, and people will come back religiously for their special scent, which of course sometimes they tell other people what their secret is, and sometimes they won't. We have incense. We've recently added some more artwork because we hosted Noah Jemison, who was inspired by the African burial ground in New York. They were, that was about 10 years ago, exactly. And they sent the remains to Howard to be further analyzed, and he was inspired to draw, to paint, and so we have some of his artwork available for sale. The name of his book is Buried Treasure.
Oh, okay.
Signing about a week ago. What else do we have here? We have some sculptures available too. The Sankofa bird in particular is the most popular, I'd say.
I've heard that. What is a Sankofa bird?
The Sankofa bird is actually a mythical bird. Does not really exist, but symbolically is huge in what it represents. It means to, and if you, do I have one handy? Well, anyway, the head of the bird is turned backwards, okay? And that symbolizes to make sure to acknowledge, embrace, and know your history. In the beak of the Sankofa bird is an egg, and that symbolizes, of course, the future, the egg, but also to delicately handle that egg, because if it's too strong, then that egg is gone. If it's too loose, the egg is going to slip out. So the balance that's needed to hold that egg is also shown in the sculpture. And so embracing that history while the head of the bird is turned backwards, it also represents moving forward with that in mind.
Yeah.
With that in mind. Absolutely.
Right.
That is your armor. That is your support system. That is your foundation. So you don't ever forget your past in all of your endeavors.
And there's some people that say, well, what's the need for Black history, you know? They say,
Oh,
what
my
about
goodness.
just, you probably heard this before, you know, say, well, I just want to worry about things that's happening right now. You know,
Right.
what do you have to say to that kind of conversation, you know?
Oh,
Because
my goodness.
you've explained already through our interview about how it helped you. Would it really have helped you if you had known about those people, the time when you talked about William Shockley and those other,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
if other people had known, it would have given, how much more, if you had known that history during that time, how much more would it help you?
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's like the sky is the limit. You know, when you find out that our people made paper, when you find out that our people developed the ironing board, the shoe lasting machine, these items, you know, are everyday items that are used in the household every day. And you find the importance. You know, you're not just a contributor. I mean, that in and of itself is important, but you're an originator. And everyone seems to be a generation away, is an offshoot of you. You're the originator, so you can have a certain command about what your gift is to the world because it's in your bloodline, this great history. And so adding that to whatever you're doing only enhances, it only builds you up, it only fortifies you, you know, and it anchors you so that when the wind starts blowing here and there, you are standing strong.
Right, yeah.
You are standing strong because you know the wind is going to blow.
Right.
You know that's going to happen. And you cannot be, you know, a just today type of person because you will be gone tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
But with this history, you will last the test of time.
Yes.
And that, I mean, how else could we be here unless we have deep roots? That's what we have.
Yeah. What do you think about these electronic books and the Nook and all those other things compared to the books that are sold here, you know? I think that and I'm glad to see people are buying them to open up. What do you have to say about that?
You know, I'm so glad you asked that because there is a study that was done by The Guardian, and in that study it reported that there is a lack of empathy that is developed from reading an electronic device and how shall I say, the ability to recall the chronology of events is drastically reduced in viewing an electronic medium versus a physical book.
Okay.
So while it's a today type of a type of device and it has its place, I feel that at some point everyone will be directed back to books, back to the actual physical book because it's a way to commune, you know, with yourself. You're kind of unplugging from everything and you're learning to listen to yourself and your imagination is able to soar, you know. And so those studies I think are kind of they need to be known that, you know, you're not getting the full experience when you're solely reading online or on these electronic devices. They have their place. I'm not hating or anything. There's room for it all, but I think everyone's going to come back home at some point.
Okay.
Home to books.
I hope so. Look, I want to thank you for being our guest
Thank
today.
you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We thank you, Black Men Perspective and Real Talk. And thank you, Mr. Jim Gardner. We'll see you next week. Live show.
Much appreciated.
Help your children. Don't let them fall by the side of the road, and teach them to love one another, that heaven might find a place in their hearts. 'Cause Jesus is love. He won't let you down. I know He's mine. Oh, yes, He is. Forever in my heart. We gotta walk on through temptation, yeah. Lift up our hearts to be thankful and glad. And I know the truth, and His words will be our salvation. Oh, lift up our hearts to be thankful and so glad that Jesus, He's love. He won't let you down.